Yeah, you are absolutely right. It's a very good approach that the current president, John Biden, is promoting. But is it possible that America can also uh, really help Africa to unite more than any other time? I hope the main contribution that John Biden can do is not for America to create bilateral relations with different countries like South Africa, Egypt, and so on, but to relate with the Africa Union to learn from how America created 50 states to be united in a federal government. We need really very strongly the United States of Africa, and from the United States of America can we learn the United States of Africa. I know America went through many difficulties, civil wars, many things. Still, they have challenges. They still have white supremacists and racism. Everything hasn't been removed. But we want America to be the superpower of humanity, health. You know, he's now talking about the coronavirus, many challenges, political challenges we have. Einstein called the biggest stupidity, human stupidity, is politics. We want to really create political intelligence so that people, the whole of Africa, can actually become together and trust each other, work with each other, and support the people of Africa, so that we don't have any poor people in Africa, in a rich continent like Africa. Will America not get involved anymore as they used to do with the military, with all kinds of things like, supporting some groups against another, all kinds of self-interested, all right, approach. But they come now deliberately make a total paradigm shift, a mindset shift in the entire political arena, so that now they support Africa. I hope the way Biden is talking about is very good. And the interesting question now is for all of us to observe in reality what exactly America will be able to do, and whether or not he can manage it, given that there is all different interests in the United States that may oppose and support. There may be conflicts. So the weakness and strength from the American experience for the unity of Africa is one. Number two, instead of America going for bilateral relations, to go for to strengthen the African Union, so that the unity of Africa and the way Africa should also move in such a direction where the ownership of the wealth of Africa is entirely now with the people of Africa. Something like that has to develop now. And if we
Professor,
do that,
if
and if
you'll allow
America
me,
helps us,
pardon me to interrupt you, whether or not he can manage it, Joe Biden, that is a very important question, because he sort of has to do a lot of damage control from what his predecessor, Donald Trump, did. I mean, he was labeled a racist and didn't have those relations with African nations and sort of alienated them. What's it going to take for Joe Biden to really show that he's making a big impact and an interest in Africa and all those commitments that he made in action?
I think the key thing he could do now is just the way, look how the speech he made now. It's easy to make speeches, but to translate them into practice is not easy. At the moment in Africa, we have so many conflicts. And you remember the civil wars, conflicts after the 1960s independence have been many, coup d'etats, many things like that. And all these have had foreign influence. And Africa has not yet come out of colonialism. We're still neo-colonial. We have not achieved the post-colonial status. What we want him to do is to actually understand this and say the role America plays is facilitate for Africans to come together, unite, be independent, and not depend on Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone, Levantine phone, Americaphone, when they should be doing very much Africa filial, the love of Africa first, the unity of Africa. If Africa is united, we will also relate with the rest of the world independently. We could say yes and no. But at the moment, if they give you aid and they make you, all right, depend on it, meaning you do not have independent policy.
And very quickly, before we let you go,
fail.
Professor, we saw that the US has lifted the travel restrictions for in-demand South African workers. And of course, what would this symbolize to you after we know that US President Joe Biden had introduced these new travel restrictions for the US last week, but now they are now being prioritized here in South Africa, looking at the workers who might be going in and out, moving out of South Africa into the US for work purposes. What does this now signify for the presidency under Joe Biden and his relations with perhaps South Africa specifically?
No, but I think the previous president was trying to, the bilateral relationship. He wanted to stop it. He was putting it into the shithole thing. He was doing like that. Now Biden is saying no. Now he's saying that all the migrants, he's giving some the freedom, and I think this is a good approach. I think there should be transnational mobility. There's no problem at all. Labor mobility and also intellectual mobility, academic mobility. All these things should not be restricted. But the main thing I prefer is that we have now the trade, the new inter-African trade relations. I think it would be very, very good if America also supports the inter-African trade to grow. Remember, the inter-African trade in Europe was over 70%. Inter-African trade in Asia is nearly 60%. We are between 7 or something percent. We don't interact with each other, trade with each other. So the the labor migrating from South Africa to America can be. It's okay if it happens, but what does it mean? We need more labor also here in South Africa, very high quality labor to develop this great country in Africa, South Africa. So we need to think about it in a very intelligent way, the negative and the positive, the weakness and strength of what this may mean. Who will be migrating if he allows this migration? Usually what has been happening was a lot of the people who used to used to go to New Zealand, Australia, and all this. That migration has been taking place like that. So if it's also going to America, what it means is also South Africa must not also be losing the labor that it needs also to develop the economy. At the moment, with this coronavirus crisis, the economy is under tremendous stress. So we need quality labor, and some of us came even to support. We support South Africa. So we need to support South Africa very strongly too. So let's think about it in a very creative way and not just say that this the flow of migration from South Africa is a good thing. I think we need to get quality labor also for South Africa. Let's think about it very cleverly, I think.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Pan-African scholar and researcher, Professor Mammo Muchie.